Hi everyone, it's Lillian here from Stamper's Niche. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Spruce Grove, Alberta, Canada, and I'm so glad you can join me today. I normally don't do a Facebook Live on a Monday morning, but when I looked at my week this week, it seemed like this might be the best time to hop on. And that brings me to a question. What's a good time for you to watch a Facebook Live? I should be taking that into consideration. So leave a comment. Let me know what time of day works best for you to watch a Facebook Live, and even what day of the week works best for you to watch Facebook Live. I'd be interested in knowing. Not saying that I can necessarily meet those times, but I will when I can. So let me know times that work best for you: morning, evening, afternoon, early morning, 10, 11, 12, whatever, and what day of the week. So let's go down to my desk and see what I'm up to today. So you just had a good view of my computer. So here we are. Just before we start today's project, which is a Create With Me, which some of you are quite familiar with, I thought I would just touch base with this month's special, because I can't believe it, and likely you can't either, but this month ends Saturday. So if you have any inclination to take advantage of the special that's on this month, you've only got a few more days, and it is a good special. It's 15% off of a lot of the designer papers. So I thought today, just before we start the project, I would highlight those designer papers. One of them is Artistry Blooms, and this set I've used a lot. I didn't think I would, because it looks kind of goofy or whatever, but because it is, it works with a lot of things. So that's one that's 15% off. Another one is just an all-time favorite with so many people. It's the Forever Greenery designer paper. And here's one that's one of my favorites, In Good Taste. Now this one is a double package of paper, so the 15% off is still more than the other ones, because it's 24 instead of 12 sheets of paper. Also, for 15% off is this gorgeous Peony designer paper, and I just sent something flying to the floor. I guess we'll discover what that is in a minute. One that I use a lot is this 6x6 package called Playing with Patterns right here. And then Playful Pets. I've done lots of Facebook Lives with Playful Pets. It's just fun. And last but not least, from the annual catalog, is the 6x6 Whale of a Time set of designer paper. Again, gorgeous paper that really works with so many different things. And then not only that, the sale includes designer paper from the mini catalog. So one of them is the Heartwarming Hugs designer paper. Lots of great Christmas colors there. Another one is the Poinsettia Place designer paper. We've used that lots as well. And I'm just trying to see my markers here, because the papers are all scattered throughout. Trimming the Town designer paper. When this sale came on, this is something I got, and it should arrive right away. It's a great set of designer paper. Another set is this one right here, the 6x6 'Tis the Season, and I have gone through a whole package of this already, believe it or not. And then we also have this returning favorite here, the Toil Tidings. So it's it's great for all kinds of different projects. And then another one is the Snowflake Splendor, which I was going to showcase this week. I'm going to show it a little bit today, so we'll see if I actually do showcase it all week long or not. My week is still being planned somewhat. Another designer paper is the Magic in the Night. So although it's in the Halloween section, and sometimes we get stuck with thinking, oh, it's Halloween paper, there are sides of the paper that are not Halloween, and it's a great set as well. and then the wonderful plaid tidings, which you've seen me use different times. So those, if those papers interest you and you want to take advantage of the sale, it's important to do that sooner rather than later, as the sale ends on Saturday. If you want to shop with me online, my online store is found here, and the current hostess code is this, and you use this on any orders under $200, and then you'll get some benefit from that. So let me just pick up what I knocked flying to the floor. I received this card in the mail. I just love getting happy mail. I know you do too. And I wanted to show it. This uses the peony paper that's on sale. And look at how simple is this card. It is just, the card base is just ends here. The designer paper slips in, and then you can see the inside here. And there's a quick and easy card showcasing designer paper. If I have time, I'll show how to make this week. Okay, enough chit-chatting, and I see a few people here. Hi, Sue. Hi, Donna. And Sue's always impressed when I finally notice that there are comments, so that always makes me feel good. So I haven't done a Create With Me per se for a little bit. I got sidetracked, but I'm going to do one here. And this one here, and as always, I like to start with my designer paper. So a designer paper that is 4 1/4 by 1 1/2. So that's one thing that you need. And I am going to use, let's just get organized a bit here, this designer paper right here. So that is that. And then you need a piece of cardstock or designer paper that is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. Now I'm going to show you a sample in a bit using cardstock. Today I'm going to use designer paper, and you are going to score that with the 8 1/2 side at the top at 2 1/4. So you're going to score it like that. And then you can do either slide it along to 6 1/4, or you can just flip it around and do it 2 1/4 from this side as well. So what the paper ends up being is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 2 1/4 and 6 1/4. Basically, it's in 2 1/4 from each side. All right, so we have that. Then you also need some paper to stamp on, a shape, scrap, whatever. And you will need some ribbon, tear and tape, and a circle punch. And then you will need a little drink packet, or we're going to brainstorm some other ideas of what you can use there. So let me know, again, those of you who hopped on a little bit later, let me know the time of day you prefer to watch a Facebook Live, and also let me know the day of the week that you prefer to watch a Facebook Live. So here we are. We have the piece of paper that's 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 2 1/4, 6 1/4. This is going to form our card, our base. So notice it's the reverse of my designer paper that I'm using as the decorative. So we're going to fold this in, matching the edges, and burnish the fold. And this in, matching the edges, and burnish the fold. And then I'm going to actually add my designer paper here. Now, I'm just showing one way. Basically, we're treating this middle section as a card front. Okay, so I'm going to add this on right now. So I'll bring in my handy dandy multi-purpose glue like that, and put that in. And this is directional, so we do want to make sure that it's, I said that this was 4 1/4. I cut mine at 5 1/2 and I've got glue on it. So this is a slight variation, but it is 1 1/4 this way. Now, because of what we're making, I want to cut a little divot out of here. And you can use most any punch that you have. I'm going to use my 1.5-inch circle punch. Any of your labels would likely work, because all you're going to do is slide it in just a smidge, try to center it the best you can, and take a little bite out of it. So now you can see why I wanted to put my designer paper on first, so that it would get punched out at the same time. Now I am going to bring in my tear and tape, and Sue's saying 5 o'clock works well. So that's 5 o'clock. Yeah, chances are that won't work well for me, but you just never know. If Harry's out, I just might get to do it. Anybody else? What time of day works best for you for a Facebook Live? And of course, the joy of it is you can always come back and watch it later. So what I'm doing right now is on the inside of my paper, I've put tear and tape across the bottom and tear and tape down one side. You need a really strong tape, because we're going to put something in here that will put pressure on that tape. What we're going to use for right now is an individual drink packet. And you want your packet now. Other things you could use individual popcorn, microwave popcorn. You could use something like this. This is a facial mask or something, so you could tuck that inside. Leave me ideas of other things that work well for you would think. I think you could always do a piece of paper with a gift card on it. You could, what else comes flat like this? Some cookies come kind of flat, package-wise. A scarf, a tiny scarf perhaps. Some of the kids' toys are like stickers, that kind of thing would work. So what we're going to do here is we're going to remove the backing from my tear and tape here, just this one. And the reason we're putting this in, even though we're going to take it out in a minute, is it helps to get enough oomph space in here. So now I'm just going to line up the edges and stick that down. And I'm going to leave that there as I do this, because it just helps with my spacing. And what I'm wanting to line up is my bottom. The top will take care of itself. So I'm lining up the bottom like that, and then smoothing that out. And I didn't pull it tight, snug, because I want this to be able to slide in and out. So as you can see, this is going to be a little pouch that you could put treats in. You could also just do a card and pop it in, but we're going to put treats in this one. So let's continue to decorate this. You can decorate it however you want, but I do have a little bit of a plan. I brought in these 2 stamp sets. I brought in So Sentimental because I wanted the Yummy Delicious from here. And I brought in Banner Year because I wanted just some of the little decorative stamps here as well. So I'm using the 2 of them together. And so there's a die that goes with this. It's called Stitched So Sweetly. So it has these shapes as well as these rectangles, which is a great die set. So what I did, because I often cut extras when I'm playing and designing a card, I keep them in one of our cello bags, and I pulled this out and I played with some of the shapes to see what worked and what didn't, and this is what I came up with. So I've got some shapes here. I came up with this shape right here that fit Yummy Delicious great. So I am going to restamp that with you. I'm bringing in Early Espresso because that's one of the colors. I'm just picking the colors right from the designer paper. So Early Espresso is my ink here, and I've got something on there, but oh well, we'll make it work. Here we go. Yummy delicious. Usually I stamp and then cut out, so it always makes me a little nervous doing it the reverse way. So there, I did pretty well. Yummy delicious. Now I want to just add a few decorative elements, and they are with photopolymer. So I'm going to add my mat, and I'm going to open up the Cajun Craze and mint macaron. So Cajun Craze, I'm going to ink that up, and we're just going to put a few leaves. I'll put one here. Oh, I meant to stamp that off. And I'm going to do a second impression there, and I'll stamp this one off. Whoops, because I want a lighter color. There we go. So that just added that in. Now I'm going to use the mint macaron and the little leaf, and okay, stamped it off just for a lighter impression, and that's really light, and put some in here, and that's good enough for now. So this is where it's going to go. It's going to go on here, but it looks a little lost, so I started playing around, and I brought in another piece from that die set. So here's the Cajun Craze. If I put this on here, or would it look better with Early Espresso on here? What do you think? Early Espresso or Cajun Craze? That's where I was playing around with when I was planning this video for you. And then I thought, oh, this stamp set, Banner Year, actually comes as a bundle with this punch. And this punch cuts out banners. So what if I cut out a banner and stuck it behind and just added that little piece of Early Espresso there? And I quite like that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Oh, and Donna's saying Cajun Craze too. So, okay, let's go with that, and I'll keep this for another project. So let's try fastening some of these together. I'm going to add my adhesive down here and put that straight. I love my grid paper. And there, I got that. Looking here, needs to go up a smidge. There we go. Donna, so good to see you. Guess what? I had a nice long visit with Darlene this morning. It was great. I miss seeing her so much. So now I think I will put this on dimensionals. Here we go. And put it on the Cajun Craze. And I know I'm living dangerously by leaving my ink pads open here, but I'm going to use them again in a minute. We'll see how that goes. So here we go, like that. And now this is going to go on the front. Yeah, I like that a whole lot. And should I use dimensionals? I think I will. What I'm going to do is actually keep my dimensionals towards the middle a little bit, because this, when I get my packet inside, is going to be quite curved. So, well, no, I changed my mind. I'll put them on the edges. I'll just anchor it down. Like that. Peel the backing off. This is a little sort of gift or treat holder that works well. I'm going to put this in just to get some of the curve. For any season or any occasion, whether it's just a thinking of you, for fall, for Christmas, it would work great. Good. Okay, so then when I was playing around, I also cut an extra one from the same die set, and I'm going to put this on the back because the join is on the back. I'm going to put this on the back, and from Banner Year again, it even has a to from, which is always nice to have when you're making tags or little things. So I'll put to from, and then I can bring in these little stamps that I had, and I am going to make sure to stamp off. I'm going to use scrap paper. Whoops. And we'll put a few here. Maybe one here. Oh, should have an odd number, right, ladies? Okay. Oh. Decisions. And I'll bring in a bit of that mint macaron. I just like how that green looks with this. And I'll stop there. You could add as much as you wanted. I'm going to close up my ink pad right now. Pads, there we go. And let's fasten that to the back. Like that. And there we go. Let it set up, that glue. And while that is setting up, bring this in. And just before I do that, I wanted to share a little bit more about this punch. These punches, they're called Banner's Pick-a-Punch because you can pick your size. There's a different one in the annual catalog. This one is in the mini. So you can cut a 1/2 inch size and slide it in and punch, and you get that. I find it's best if you push it right down in your little trough and push it all the way, and then check the back and just try to make sure it's centered. But then you can end up with a 1/2 inch size one, a 3/4 inch size one, and a 1 inch size one. So these are, well, this one is for this one. So it's like that. And you can do the same with what I call the fishtail ones. Now look at this. You could take, say, for example, your 3/4 inch and layer it up like that. And that makes a neat little look. Or you can just layer up these so they're nicely layered like that. So there's all different things you can do with these. These I've just punched one end, but you can punch both ends or whatever. You can even do little ones and make them like a little thing to hang down from an award, or from, I could have hung it down from here like that too, or had it coming out the side like that. So there's lots you can do with that. So that was just to show you that. Now let's bring in our drink packet again, and I'm going to bring in that circle that I was using. You can take your ribbon, where is my ribbon? Here it is, and just make a little pull on here and just staple it right to here, or you can dress it up a little bit if you have scrap paper laying around, which I tend to often do. I'm going to punch out with the same paper. Here we go, like that. And now this is going to be folded in half and go on here. Now, do I want this to show or this to show? Decisions. Don't think it matters. I'm going to go with this, and you'll see why in a minute. I did have a reason. So I'm going to take my packet out, put that over top just to add a bit of decoration, bring in my stapler, and bring in a bit of ribbon. So I'm just going to take, it's just a bit, I'm going to fold it in half and flag the ends like that. This one's a little ratty looking. I'll give it a trim. So it just looks like that. I'll fan it out a bit. Hold it on top of here and staple that all together. So let's hope my stapler goes through that ribbon. It's a little thicker. Ha ha ha, it did. So now it's a little pull tab that I've created, and I might trim that down a bit. But now, and this drink packet, hot chocolate makers change the size of the drink packets. So this is a little long, so I'm just shoving the drink down that way, giving it a fold to make it smaller, and tucking it in like that. So then you could just present that to somebody. They pull it out and they've got their drink. And it's just that easy. Just so fun and cute. And I just thought of something. I have little wooden spoons I could stamp on and attach here too. But anyway, you get the idea. So, and you can do something for the back and the front. So that is the treat holder for today. So if you like my videos, if you like this idea, you can click like or share. I always love it when you share. If you're catching this later on YouTube, remember you can give a thumbs up or subscribe or any of that kind of thing. When you show me love like that, it helps my presence on these different platforms and helps me reach more people. So I really appreciate you doing that for me. And thank you so much for all of you who've tuned in at this time. And I see Donna loves it's going to make some. Donna, when you make some, please, please, please share. And oh, I was going to show you some other ideas. Good thing I rambled for a minute. Here was my original made with cardstock. So it is just cardstock here, the Pacific Point, and then the Snowflake designer paper here. And I stamped right on the rectangular shape and then added some snowflakes. And let me just in a minute tell you about these snowflakes a little bit. And then I did this on the back and I used that like that. So these snowflakes, I'm going to have to do a session on them. I saw a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator share this, and as you can see, they're kind of shiny. And this is the Magenta Madness, the in color paper, and all she did was take packing tape and put it on the paper and then die cut it or punch it, and it has this shiny look. So if you'd like me to show you how to do that, let me know in the comment section, and maybe I can find some time this week to come on and show that to you. I've been meaning to do that. The other thing is, I said you could make these for Halloween. So just imagine I have these are just lying around. I haven't done anything with them. This is a little 3x3 note card from a class that I did, and this is a tag from a class that I did. So can you imagine some of these just going on the front of, if you had appropriate paper here? So I think your imagination's likely going. Do leave me ideas for what to put in here. I'm always collecting ideas when I make these treat packets, and the rest of us would love to learn that too. So, and Karen says, great idea for craft sales. You're the queen of craft sales, so love to see what you come up with. And yes, this would be a great idea. Do share some of the ideas that you might put in here. I think I just have to go to a dollar store and start wandering around and looking. But thanks for joining me. Take care. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.